What's up, everyone? This is the We Are ND Nation podcast. I am Evan J. Thomas. With me always is my trusty co-host, Dennis Stover. And on today's show, we will be recapping Notre Dame's crap-ass 31-23 loss at Clemson, my experience this past weekend at
Whoa.
Clemson, and this will be a truncated episode. So we won't have our name that former ND player. We're just going to get fucking at it and do this. So, Dennis,
Yeah.
31-23, Notre Dame loses
31-23.
at Clemson. Horrible offensive game. What did you take out of this?
I took exactly so far if we win out the next two games, I will have been correct in my prediction of the year episode. I think that was with Alan Rossum.
Yep.
Where I predicted them to go to 9-3, and each game that I predicted they'd lose, they've lost. So that was neat.
Why did you have to do that, man?
Because I saw it and I was right. And Parker needs to go. And if that was just reinforced any at all, it would have been this weekend. He's wasted Hartman's talent. Although maybe Hartman was, I don't want to say smoke and mirrors, but definitely left some disappointment. Because I mean, he's got 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions right now into the season, only like 2,200 yards when he started out on fire. So I don't know if we'd lost him or if it's just because they can't convert on third down. I mean, we know that the Parker's he doesn't know how to call any kind of plays to move the ball. They were pinned down in Clemson. Hell, they didn't have to do anything. I think it was 5 or 6 times in the second half they were within their 20-yard line trying to drive. I mean, that's field position. That's football 101, isn't it? Defense and you play the field game.
Yeah.
The guy cannot call a play to save his life. We had it easy in that early in the season with the schedule. You would figure you'd get better as the season goes on, but just take a step back. It doesn't give me any confidence. The only hope there is I would still say with what we had going into this season and everybody started taking the bait, I guess I even started to as the season went on. I wish I would have stuck with the preseason. Anyway, this is a failure of a season, I think, because even if people saying at 11-1, depending on which game we lost, Notre Dame could still have a realistic shot of making the playoff. Mm-hmm. And that's just blown out the window now. And so I'm not pounding sand or being mad because it is what it is. Why give them any more of my energy than I already have for the season? But it's just sad that they've gone backwards. The defense, however, has gotten better. So that's nice. That is real nice. Keep Golden. Parker's got to go. I don't care if they score 300 points in these next two games. I don't care. He's got to go. The guy. I mean, we should score 300. Stanford and Wake Forest. I think we're favored by 2 to 3 touchdowns each game, give or take. It just sucks. That's all. And even the old line, boy, did I really ate or drank the Kool-Aid on that one too, because I was thinking it was a great offensive line, but maybe Joe Moorhead or something? Maybe he's not as good as advertised either. But definitely Parker has got to either just go back to coaching the tight ends and keep them on staff, because I'd hate for anybody to lose their job. But we got to get a better play caller.
I will say Jeremiah Trotter Jr. for Clemson was a fucking beast, and he was
that guy's awesome.
I think he was like
defense is good.
He was like defensive player of the week. He had 11 tackles, 2 sacks, a pick 6 TD. Obviously, he's the son of one of my favorite Eagles of all time, Jeremiah Trotter Sr. So that kind of what you said earlier is how Notre Dame regressed. What I've seen on the regression, besides Hartman, I was at that game. We'll get into that in a few minutes.
Yeah, tell us about your weekend.
I'm watching this game from the 500 level. I'm looking right down. I'm at the 25-yard line looking down. Hartman's arm looked very pus-armed.
Yeah.
I don't know what that deal was, but on his tosses, he didn't look like he had any fucking zip.
It's like Tommy Rees arm or something, man. Like he can barely get it 45 yards downfield. You know what they had mentioned, and I think I glanced over something in an article this week, or I think it was Central Michigan or something, that one play where they hobbled his leg a little bit. Yep. And he kind of came. I wonder if that's been plaguing him a little bit all year, and he's having a hard time of really driving the football and stuff. Maybe
because he still has been throwing some deep shots, but not like he was early in the season. Obviously, the teams that he's playing now are a lot better than they were the first weeks. The other thing that I've seen a regression is the wide receivers. I don't know if it's just a separation.
I don't
not
either.
get the separation. Where the fuck is Merriweather? I mean, that guy's probably going to end up transferring if he doesn't start getting the fucking ball the next 2 weeks. I mean, he's probably gone. I mean, you got.
I don't understand either. That was, yeah, it's just those games.
I mean, Rico Flores, 1 catch, 35 yards. One fucking catch. Estime had 4 catches. He was the leading receiver.
That was our leading receiver. Or
it makes no sense.
Wide receiver.
Hartman,
yeah, I don't.
You mentioned this earlier to me before the show. 13 of 30, 146 yards for Hartman, 0 TDs, 2 interceptions, but he did have 7 runs for 68 yards. He did use his legs pretty well, and he got the 1 TD on that.
Yeah, so, great. I mean, yeah, it's just, it was disappointing, you know. It's and I didn't listen or read any of Freeman's presser or anything like that, but I'm sure they, you know, it could have been. Well, that pick 6, that hurt. That was absurd. I mean, he wasn't making good reads or anything. It sucks. And I don't know how well this whole the idea of going to the transfer portal every year for a quarterback and stuff. It's like, I don't know how I feel about it. Unless you're getting a surefire hit. I mean, we thought he was, you know, and I don't think we did him any justice either by not coaching him up. He didn't come. I mean, let's face it. He came to a first-year offensive coordinator. The guy's he's probably got as much knowledge as Gerard Parker has. He's been playing college football for 6 fucking years.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, he could probably call his own plays, like fucking whoever did back in the day.
So what does
Fran Tarkenton?
We both say let go of Parker at the end of the year or move him to the tight ends coach or whatever. What should they do with the last 2 games of the season with Parker? I keep hearing that they're going to have a new play caller for the last 2 games. Is that
who?
I don't know. I thought.
Oh, really? Oh, that'd be amazing. I don't know who would call the plays. It'd probably be Pep, the quarterback coach.
Okay.
So he would be a nice choice, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know who's out there. I mean, go for another offensive coordinator again. You sit Parker aside and you say, this is just like any year-end review at any company in fucking America, how jobs work. You sit them down, you have them review, say, this is our yearly review. You didn't hit our marks. You actually performed under. We want to keep you on staff because you do such a great job with the tight ends, but unfortunately, we're going to bring somebody else in to call plays and be the offensive.
So here's a movie reference for you. So Gerard Parker, what do you do here?
It's that Office Space.
There you go. What do you do
what
here?
do you do here? Yeah, but then he comes in and he hustles them and he ends up like getting them on his side.
I mean, you know, there's going to be OCs available early or after the season.
Yeah, and keep your hands out of it. Fucking Swarbrick and whoever else.
Hopefully, he has no say anymore.
Right.
So give Freeman his wish to be able to pick his own staff, be able to fucking pay these guys a few bucks more than, you know, what they want.
Yeah, because Notre Dame has to play an absolute perfect game we saw they competed against Ohio State and they're the number 1. I don't think Ohio State's worthy of the number 1 ranking in the college football.
I actually had them number 1. I did my pick.
You do? Especially the win. They're like the biggest win is Notre Dame. That's not a big win anymore at all.
No, not anymore looking at it. But then again, you look at the other 2 teams right behind them, Georgia and Michigan. Like, to me,
again, I am not. I understand. I think Georgia is far and away, and then I have Ohio State, and then I probably put
Florida State.
I put Washington, man. But they beat Oregon, and Oregon's supposed to be the best 1-loss team in the country, and by people actually have them better than Washington, even though Washington beat them head to head. I don't understand this.
Because my top 8, I think I had OSU, Michigan, Georgia, Florida State, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Those my top 8. So that's what I had there. I'm going to go into, we talked about how the defense is doing better for Notre Dame, but they let Phil Maffa 36 times for 186 fucking yards.
They didn't adjust. Well, they definitely didn't adjust in the box, and that probably could have helped if they weren't, golden lights. He definitely is a NFL type of defense where he'll blitz and put his DBs in man to man and be like,
Mm-hmm.
you're that good, which is great. But man, you got to get the right hole because that guy, 36 touches is a lot of touches. What was his average?
I didn't pull that one up.
Yeah, whatever.
Does it fucking matter? I mean, he had the
Averaged a lot.
touchdown. That was a
5.2. So 36
5.2.
touches. I mean, still that's 2 touches and it's a first down. So
5.2 yards.
yeah, and estimate why they went away from the running game. Again, it goes back to Parker. I don't know.
And so I know obviously at the end of the game they were coming back, and a lot of the throws, like I said, they were trying to do all these outs to the sideline, and that's where I noticed Hartman's lack of arm strength.
Well, again,
I texted you during the game. I was like, dude, what's up with his puss arm, man? He's like, he can't put it out there, and these dudes are sitting on it knowing he's going to throw. It's like, what else do they have to do with it? So,
I would also too. Clemson's secondary was decimated with injury. How do you? I don't. I not getting the same game plan and stuff that the announcers and everyone else knows, and they're talking about it on Big Noon Saturday and ESPN Game Day, and they're talking about the secondary of Clemson. Everyone else knows it except for fucking Parker and Freeman. They don't scout. Are they worried about the Connor Stallions?
Now I've heard on different chat groups and the different Notre Dame groups, should Angeli start? Angeli.
Fuck yeah. Let him start.
He starts on senior
Why
day.
not?
You give Sam the senior day.
No, Sam's going to start because it's his former team and it's senior day, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? It's like, thanks, Sam, but you weren't recruited. You did come here. It was great. Maybe we let you down a little bit. You definitely let us down a little bit. So yeah, sit the next 2 games out and brush your hair and look good and fucking put Angeli in. Yeah, put Angeli in and let's go.
So
it's funny how everyone's fawning over Hartman though. Like my mom was texting me and who's number 10? He's a dreamy guy, but it's like when the fucking football game.
Good looking dude. I think
stop throwing picks.
Earlier in the season, I was calling Sexy Sam. Now he's just Sam. So
yeah,
he took away that. One thing I also saw that people were mentioning too. After 10 games last year, Notre Dame was 7-3 under Marcus Freeman. This year, same exact record. Now, we both said the last year was a failure. So far, you're saying it's a failure too.
Did I say last year was a failure? I don't know. Maybe it's his first year.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't really call it that because the fact
this year I would, because again, it was there. We had the talent and the team to do it. Because we're gonna lose some linemen. We're gonna lose secondary will be strong, and hopefully we'll get stronger. We'll lose some linebackers, but I think we have some good linebackers. Some young
studs of linebackers.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Offense is gonna struggle a little bit next year. This would have definitely been the year. Estimate's probably gone, but we still have a stable of running backs, so that's a good thing. Receivers were still there. It's the line will be a little worrisome. I just we're just a play caller away from being 11-1, possibly undefeated.
I would agree.
I mean, honestly,
totally. Yeah. So since this is a short show, let me just get into a little bit about.
Yeah, tell us about your weekend down in Clemson.
It was a fucking blast.
Off Kakalaki, I'm sure it was.
I got to bring my sister, who has never been to a
awesome
football game at all.
What's up, Lindsay? Yeah.
She had an amazing time. So we got there. It was about 70 degrees, 73. That was about the high. Everybody there, all the fans there were cool as hell with us. I was wearing all green top to bottom. Everybody was making comments about my shoes and my hoodie and this and that.
Of course they were.
Having a blast. So we get in there. We kind of find our seats in the 500 level. And these 500
You were up?
Seats, dude, you talk about steep. These were straight up and down stairs.
Oof.
So we get up there. I don't think either of us moved from our seat the entire time.
Because you were so worried about
No, it wasn't that. It's like, well, we weren't going to buy any food there because it was pretty pricey. We already went to the bathroom. We were all good. So we sit there, and the place wasn't that full where we were sitting. So there was actually space around us.
Oh, yeah?
There was a couple Notre Dame fans behind me, a couple in front. And then you had all Clemson fans. There was this one dude off to our right, and we were laughing at him. Apparently, he's there every week. And this dude was trying to call plays in the middle of every play. Every play he would call was completely wrong for what they Clemson did. So he'd be like, a-hole, go through the a-hole or the A-gap or the A-gap or the B-gap. And they would do the opposite every single time. So it's funny because like the people around us were cracking up laughing. And we're like, he must be like a peewee coach or something.
Oh, sure.
This guy it was just hilarious.
He's Uncle Rico.
He was from the 500 level. He's yelling plays, and like the dudes behind me, like he's like this every fucking week.
He knows him.
We laugh at him, and I'm like, that's hilarious. So obviously, with the pageantry of college football, so much better than the NFL, because the NFL, I went to the game Sunday, the Panthers and the Colts. So much different, more of a dead crowd than Clemson. Yes, obviously winning helps Clemson, and obviously that's probably why the Clemson fans were much nicer to me, because they did win and they were winning basically the whole game. So it wasn't like I could talk too much shit, but I had a fucking amazing time, and I would go back again if I have the chance. So yeah, it's good.
Nice, man. That's cool. Also, you've been on the road now to see Notre Dame a couple times. What's your best road experience?
All right, here we go. 4 times.
What's your best road experience?
3 times. So I saw him at the playoff in 2018.
Right. That's in Dallas.
In Dallas. I saw him in New York at the Shamrock.
Oh, right. Yep. Yankee Stadium.
That was the only win that I saw. And then I saw him at Michigan in 2019 where they lost and got waxed.
That's right. That was that rain game.
That was the rain game where my camera broke. I lost my pass. Shit was thrown at me by people. And now looking at that game, that's where that dude who was stealing signs had some info on that game. So that might actually be a vacated win at some point for Notre Dame. Not that it fucking matters, because it was brutal anyway. But yeah, it was a lot of fun being at the game Saturday, despite
the
score. If there's any chance I can get out to any more games in the next couple years, I will definitely do it. I
gotta look at the schedule.
I do have some bucket list games, even if it's not Notre Dame. I want to go to Penn State. I want to go to Wisconsin. I want to do Tennessee.
Camp Randall.
Yeah, Camp Randall, Tennessee. Georgia would be a cool one. And then if I ever get down to like Texas, that would be cool too. So
right on.
But
that's cool. Good, and you've been to the big house, so that takes care of that. You don't want to go to the Horseshoe, Columbus?
Not the same to me. I don't really care. But Wisconsin, like, apparently that place is just a blast.
Camp Randall. I've been by there. I mean, Madison's a beautiful town.
I've driven by it a few times.
Yeah, I've been hung out.
I've driven by Tennessee. I've actually been right there and never went to
Neyland Stadium. Nice.
So it's a really cool place. Clemson, the stadium, man, it is. When they say it's Death Valley, so the name kind of doesn't really make sense for where it's located, but because it's in the valley, I mean, there are hills upon hills around this place.
Oh, yeah?
Like, tough to walk.
Well, the river's right through there, too.
There's a river right next to it, which
it looks like it's a pretty campus.
Beautiful campus. And it was awesome walking around. It just sucked that the game was at noon, because we literally had an hour once we parked to get into the stadium, and I had to do my spot for the college football dogs. So, at that point,
right.
I was hanging outside and getting that done before we went in. But yeah, a lot of fun all the way around.
Nice, man. Well, that's cool. I'm glad.
Can't complain about that.
Yeah, I know. We were texting during the game. It was a bummer.
Yeah, it was rough to be there. I mean, I'm used to getting razzed and whatever. I mean, I go to school every day, a couple days a week, and the Michigan fan that's always there always is saying shit. And I'm like, hey, at least you're lucky you still have a coach right now. So,
yeah, well, that's going to all play itself out. I mean,
it will. And that's what I keep saying too. So all right.
And I was looking at the top 10. What were you going to say? Sorry.
Just get to that too. So go ahead.
I can't believe how strong it is. I mean, it's like there's 5 or 6 undefeated teams still, and then there's really good one-loss teams. It's crazy.
There's
It's
still
a
five
strong year.
undefeated teams. So you got OSU, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Washington, top five right there.
Yeah, and then
And then you got
Oregon,
Oregon,
Bama.
Texas, Bama, Ole Miss, and Penn State, and then Louisville is number 11.
Right. I
And they're
mean,
all 8-1.
it's
So
crazy. I mean, who's to say Louisville could upset Florida State
ooh,
in the AC? I mean, it could get weird, man.
that would really mess things
Shit could
up.
get weird. Florida State, I mean, no ACC team will get it, and then it depends on what happens with the. I mean, wouldn't that be something if you had two Big Ten teams and two SEC teams making the college? That would be
Wait, isn't that what happened last year?
no TCU.
TCU, that's right.
Yeah,
Who was left out? Alabama, right?
Bama.
That's right.
Yeah, because they were saying
as of now they are still out.
Yeah, because they have Texas as being better than Bama, which they should. Texas only has the one loss to Oklahoma,
and Texas beat Bama. So there you go.
Right. I mean, that's the way it goes.
Looking at some of the games for this week, you and I kind of went through.
Oh yeah.
Before, so we have Michigan, number 3 Michigan at Penn State, and you said that was a big game.
That's a big noon game. That's going to be good. Gus Johnson will be hyped for that one.
That's pretty fucking sweet. You got Utah at Washington. That's a 2:30 Fox game. Tennessee at Missouri, so 13 and 14.
That's a fun game.
Ole Miss at Georgia.
That's really fun. That's going to be the night game. I'll probably tune into that. Excuse me.
And then another one that you and I were kind of talking about earlier. USC is at Oregon. It's a 9:30 Chicago kickoff.
They did fire the Grinch because he was stealing too many toys from kids. But
turnovers.
Sorry for the bad dad joke. But so I mean, because then Oregon doesn't know what kind of defense they're going to get. I still think Oregon's going to throw. I don't see how you can improve in a week. No, I know. Things happen. People play inspired. People get inspired. Kids get inspired when they replace some inspired football. And look what happened with the Raiders in the NFL. They fired McDaniels, and all of a sudden they waxed the Giants or whoever they played for Antonio Pierce. It's motivation's a funny thing, man. But still, Oregon's a pretty good team, and I think
it's at Oregon.
And it's at Oregon. I think they're going to rock. They're going to rock the spoiled children, and people are going to give Caleb Williams a ton of shit because of his crying. I like that he showed emotion and stuff. The kid is humbled a little bit. I think. I think it was. I'm not mad because people were dogging him. It's because he jumped into the stands and were crying with his folks and stuff. I was like, I think that's. I'm crazy young. He's a kid, man. He's a young guy. He's feeling the emotion of the game and stuff.
You know what? If he did that in Chicago, he'd get eaten alive.
What do you mean?
By the media and the fans.
I'm sure he's getting eaten alive in LA. I don't know.
Fucking pussy.
Well, that's stupid. They're college kids, man.
I understand.
That's what they got to remember. I'm going to get mad at him too and stuff, but I'll take it out on the coaches because they're at least like Mike Gundy says, I'm a man. I'm 40. Come at me. So yeah, I'm going to come at the coaches. I mean, even though Sam Hartman's like 2 years younger than I am.
I've seen college football players crying on the field,
right?
In the locker room. So it's not like it's
man. Common. It's a big deal.
The camera was on him at the moment that happened.
Well, it's going to always follow him. He's kid. He's
Caleb Williams,
generational talent. They're he didn't help his father and himself didn't help his cause by I'm going to be the number 1 pick and. If I don't like the team where I'm going, I might stay in the college, and that doesn't help out your cause. But he's human, and he's humbled, and so I'll give him that. But obviously the kid is still great.
So we were just talking about how Oregon is going to be fucking rocking and loud. So Clemson.
There you go. How many times have I said this?
So being at all these stadiums, and you made a fucking great comment to me.
It's pathetic
during the game. So Clemson is the loudest stadium I've ever been to for college football. So
sounded loud.
If I would rank the places I've been to, I would say Clemson is number 1. Michigan was easily number 2.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's not even.
We're not even in the top 20. Like I said, it's a senior citizen home half the time.
It is.
I remember the last game we went to. You and I were at, it was
USC.
And the woman, and I turned and I said, you must be out of your mind if you think I'm going to sit down. This is our biggest rival we're playing, and you want me to sit down? Fuck out of here.
Yep. And actually, what's funny you say that, there was somebody to the left of me, a little bit down, and there was a guy standing for most of the game. And at one point, that person said, "Hey, can you sit down?" I go, they have the same right to stand up as you do to sit down.
Yeah.
You have no right to fucking tell them to sit down.
It's unbelievable, man.
Move. If you don't like it, move.
That was at ND? Yeah, I don't get those
fans. No, that
there.
was at Clemson.
Oh, at Clemson.
At Clemson. So
they even do it at Clemson.
I saw the guy, he kept standing every play. Every other play, he would stand up. Most of the time, we were standing up, but because the way it was slanted so deep, it's like you really didn't even have to move too much. But this guy was pretty tall, so
yeah,
kind of was up there, and this lady was just one of those people that has to bitch. It's like, just sit down. You're in the way. No, I paid for this fucking ticket. I can stand here if I want to. I can sit if I want to. I can cheer if I want to. I don't
understand. Then I mean, you're at a football game. It's an event where it's a college environment against your biggest rival, and the fans. You shouldn't come to the game then if you can't support it.
Stay home and watch it on TV.
Right. And that's, I don't know. It's madness. I'll never forget that. I looked at her and I was like, you can't, am I in bizarro world right now? Yeah, because there's a lot of the fans are older and yeah, you can go to the game. You can support them until you're 152, but man, don't ruin my time.
Exactly. Have fun, enjoy it, and do what you need to do. Obviously, just don't be an asshole. If you're an asshole, it's a different story.
It's like that's why we should have Senate limits and shit. Because those cats need to go. They need to go home and just chill, play Parcheesi, and fucking relax, and let some young blood in there and get some of this. Because they're so out of touch with what's happening in the country. It's pathetic.
That is an absolute fact. So
this is a football show, not a politics show. So political show.
Like they always say, let them live one day or a month in our shoes with what we make and see how things change.
It's fucking nuts.
Anyway, so what else do we have going on this week? Is this it? We done?
I guess so, man. Yeah, that was just a quick little recap of the show.
It was a nice little quick show. We had to kind of get.
No, it's good.
I'm trying to reschedule the guests that we were going to have this week to next week. I won't name that person until they're on next week because you don't want to blow that. So we'll see what we can do. But Dennis, thank you, man.
Yeah, good show. It's fun.
And I'm going to get some more rest because that 13-hour drive yesterday really whooped.
Oh, I bet. Oh, I wanted also too. He's a big supporter of the show, and he's also the Dexter's brother, Delvin. It's his birthday on Sunday. His day before Delvin. Mine. So happy birthday, Delvin, because I know he watches. So my man, love you. Happy birthday. Yeah.
Enjoy the bye week again.
Bye week again.
Two in a month.
That's another thing. They couldn't get up and beat Clemson before a bye week. How does the coaching staff let them down like that? Hey guys. They look so unprepared and so not there. We didn't say that. I want to bring that up.
Not only unprepared, but all facets of the game they basically blew it. Even
Tyree,
because Tyree on that
defense,
Actually, that was the game right there to me. That's the whole tie to the tide.
Yeah, that was because
it was 3-0.
Yeah,
at the time.
Oh, you're right, and we got the ball.
We got the ball. We would have had it at the 25, fumbled it, and boom, it was all.
It's like they can't. Once there's any kind of adversity in the game, I mean, they make adjustments. I noticed I will say that the defense has made adjustments and stuff. Sometimes the offense makes a couple adjustments, but if there's any kind of, it's like they can't withstand it, and it just and like the coaches don't know, or because sometimes I see it in Freeman's actions and stuff too. It's like he's still getting these young things out. He just needs to be a stone cold fucking killer out there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he needs to start by killing Parker.
Take him back to the woodshed and chop him up into pieces. So there you go.
Something like that. Yeah, bite kneecaps, Dan Campbell.
All right. Well, Dennis.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much. Got to thank College Football Dogs for having us on and having the show on their station. You might be seeing a little bit more of me on the college.
Oh, good, Evan. Right.
I'm reaching out to them to be like, hey, I could do a little bit more. So I'm going to try.
Yeah. Let me know if they want to do a cooking show.
You You never know. They might want to do a college football dogs cooking. Hey, you know, a good segment? Do tailgate segment. There you go.
There you go.
That would be good.
Better than half that junk they wheel out on game day. Some of that fucking shit they pull out there. I'm like,
Dude, some of that stuff looks good as hell, though.
well, okay.
I mean, whatever. But anyway, you can check us out on YouTube and Spotify weekly. We do try to keep this show going every week, which obviously we did today. And then obviously our website is wearendynation.com and the socials, wearendynation.com. And if you want to, too, you can check out the travels of Rudy the Golden Gnome.
Oh, right. He's right back there.
He's right over my shoulder. He was all over with me this
past he was.
And you can find him on Instagram and Facebook. A lot of pictures with him. He's been featured on ABC 57 in South Bend.
Crazy.
There were people at the Panthers game
that know him.
Like, we got to follow him. So
that's amazing.
Got some new
followers. He's more famous than some people on Instagram.
It's funny because we've been playing with Rudy since 2009. You were at one of the first games.
Yeah.
That.
I was like, I was clowning you. I was like, why did you bring this
Boston
fucking gnome with? So like, you're carrying this gnome around?
14 years we've been doing it. It's not the same.
And that's before Insta and all that stuff, right?
It was definitely before Instagram. But
yeah, Facebook then.
We had him on Facebook. So that's check out Rudy the Golden Gnome on Instagram. Is Rudy TGG for the Golden Gnome. So you can check him out there. And then until next week, Dennis.
So clever. Yeah. Till next week.
Go Irish.
Go Irish. Fuck the University of Spoiled Children.
There you go.